Dolphins will be back on the practice field as they get ready for the Indianapolis Colts. And hopefully, respectfully, one more start with a backup quarterback before they get Tua back next week. Although, Indy's they're fine. Like, this isn't if you come out of this 2-2 without Tua, definitely a win for the Dolphins. Definitely a win to be 500.
But here's the deal, and I agree with you 100%.
Yep.
So that means they weathered the storm.
They have weathered the storm, but I still have
unlike a lot of teams that have lost players and have gone in the tank. You see what I'm saying?
Who's gone? I mean, when you say gone in the tank, that's Cleveland pretty much. Like tank who had it.
They got all their guys. They got most of their guys except for Chubb. So, and most would say if you have your quarterback and not your running back, you should still be fine. That's a whole different situation.
I would say
it's a good question, Tobin. Who's lost? Lost the player, and then
Richardson, they weathered the storm, and now they're gonna put him back in.
I would say if you were to really look around the league right now, like probably the biggest disappointment in the league has got to be Jacksonville.
Right. Everybody is accounted for.
They got their guys.
Everybody's accounted for. Like, Jacksonville has completely gone in the toilet. Cleveland is 1-5. Like, come on, dude. Bengals still hanging in there, although they haven't.
Are they?
They're hanging in there. They're hanging in there.
What are they, 1-4?
No, they're 2-4. They won on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
They won on Monday Night Football.
Look, because here's the thing, Leroy. They win 2 more. You're in the halfway point of the season. You're 4-4.
Right. No, I know. I get it. But
that's what I'm saying. So
but based on what you've seen here, the only reason why you're saying that, the only reason is because we got Joe Burrow.
And isn't that every team? Why is no?
Yes.
Leroy, hold on.
All right.
The Dolphins win on Sunday. They're 3-3.
Right.
With Tua coming back, right?
Correct.
So why isn't that the reason why the fan base would be excited? Because
did you see those 2 games with Skylar Thompson?
Exactly.
It was one game.
So that's
one
what
game.
I'm saying.
Well, yeah. So I'm just saying different, but they've had all their guys the whole year. So if they're 500 ball club halfway through the season,
no, it's definitely one. I still think they have a lot of concerns that we've seen. I don't think that. Look, you've beaten the way that it would be. Like, this one would probably be their most impressive win of the season. Because
I don't there's not impressive wins right now or not impressive. Just get them. I don't care if it's 3-0. See, that's the point. Like, everybody wants just win football games. That's what you got to do right
now. But once you get the thing that stood out before Tua got hurt is they were getting boat raced by Buffalo, and it was a lot of it just playing real poor football. And I think that's the thing is the Dolphins haven't really played. Even the Patriots game, they did not play well in that game.
Now, here's what I would also say about that. There's been bad football throughout the entire NFL because nobody played preseason. And how much of that are we going to include in all these?
We're almost at the end of the second month.
No, but the defense has gotten better, right? And those are the guys that have mostly been like the scheme and everything.
Well, I think that's
didn't have to. So what I'm saying is this: like, the parts of the team think of that Buffalo game.
Mm-hmm.
The offense was terrible, but then Tua got hurt.
Yep.
The defense.
The game was already over when Tua got hurt, though.
Right. The defense was giving up whatever Buffalo wanted to do, but they've been better.
I thought I think that the defense that's been the thing I think that frustrates most fans about this, right? Is like the Dolphins team that looks like they were going to contend last year. Mm-hmm. That was, motion and too fast and nobody could catch up to it, has been completely stuck in the mud. And I'm including Tua games. All of it. I'm going back to last year with this. Mm-hmm. The defense has shown balls. Like, they have come through. They have. It hasn't been perfect, but they've given them chances.
Right. I would say this. One of the things that offensively they have to understand is that you cannot lose to a set defense, right? And what happens is you run all that motion, all that quick stuff, and all that, and all this stuff right here, and all defenses are doing is just dropping back. You're not affecting them the way the motion used to. And that's what teams are starting to do. They're watching you run around like a fire drill, and they're just sitting back and waiting.
Yep.
They're not reacting. You don't see guys running across the field with Tyreek. You don't see guys rotating. No, they're just sitting back and going, here are the plays they run. They're going to come to us. So instead of having all that fancy motion, right, what happens if they just line up one time? Go. That'll catch them off guard. No motion on a play for the Dolphins? Oh, no, what are we going to do? I thought they were going to motion on the other side of the field. They didn't. You know, you got to change it up. If what you're doing is not affecting the defense in the way that you think it should, right? Now, part of this is also the issue of you got guys who aren't as detailed as Tyreek and Tua and Waddle and some of these guys. So that plays a role into it too.
Right.
But the adjustments that would have had to been made playing these teams that kind of figured you out a little bit really couldn't be made with the new guys.
That was like the one positive, even with all the undiscipline and the shooting yourself in the foot. The one and getting out of New England with a win was all right. You kind of just ran up you had an identity. You ran the damn football.
Right.
You weren't cute with it.
Mm-hmm.
That I think was
more of that.
Yeah, that definitely has to be still in the bag until Tua gets back, and even when he gets back.
When he gets back, but here's the other thing. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it, and only a football person will understand what I'm saying.
Great, I can't wait to understand it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
The type of runs that they have, and it changed last week when Mostert was in. One of the things that running the football does is it wears down the defense. But the type of runs that you have don't do that, because there's a lot of tackles by corners and safeties because you're running out wide and they're just getting everybody there. So while you're having success running the ball and the numbers look good, you are not dominating the line of scrimmage. And that's a weird thing. It's a weird thing because you look at the rushing numbers, and whenever I tell you how many times they run the football, right? That's a true test. It's not with this team. They can run for a boatload of yards, and they still don't dominate the line of scrimmage. And I can't explain it, but they did it a little bit more with Mostert because they got it inside a little bit more. He's a little more physical.
And Jalen Wright, too.
Jalen Wright.
That was a good thing to see because he's beefier, you know?
Right. And so that's like it's a weird dynamic of this offense.
Wasn't it Tyreek who was making fun of the idea because they were out, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we're gonna dominate the line of scrimmage with a 160-pound running back."
Yeah,
and it's not that Etienne's not awesome, like he is.
Don't worry. You know what's funny? When I was in Cleveland with my boy Metcalf, this is all you could hear. We go onto the field. Bill, if I see another Metcalf up the middle, I'm gonna lose my mind. He was like, you have to change it up, right? It's hilarious. So I like, if you look at, they have like, there's a number, right? 115, 120 yards, right? Where if a team runs for that many yards, it goes with dominating the clock and, you know, time of possession and all these things, all these other numbers that are associated with the amount of carries and the amount of yards that you have, right? Not with this team. And I can't explain it. I wish somebody could explain it to me,
Well,
Like you run for 160 yards and you barely squeak by with a victory.
right. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.